Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Buckets,
I'm looking Cole.
and this is Ball Talk. Kicking off this week, we are in the second round of the playoffs, and these series are getting heated.
Oh
So
yeah, it's
that's
been a
pretty
crazy one
exciting.
so far. I'm so excited to get back to
Definitely
it.
has.
Yeah.
We were just talking earlier, saying it's pretty wide open. It could really be any team. Um, well, we were going to start with the Cavs and the Pacers series today, and talk about how the Cavs are the first team to kind of fall off due to injury, unfortunately.
Yeah. At this point in the series, it definitely kind of just looks like they're all but wrapped up. Their season is all but over. I mean, they were dealing with the DG injury for the first part of the series. They finally got back and healthy, and Donovan Mitchell had a crazy game and they won. And then, not even halfway through their game two of being back together, then bada bing, bada boom, Donovan Mitchell goes down, and here we are now. They're down 3-1, and it just doesn't really look like there's any chance of coming back. Like you said, it seems like the series is over. But all credit to the Pacers too. I mean, we even last week going into this series, we thought that they were gonna be the team that really could take down that number one seed and go crazy. I mean, they were coming out hot as heck, beating the Bucks the way they did, and I mean, look at them now. I mean, they're arguably playing the best out of any team in the playoffs right now, and they're probably the hottest team in the playoffs right now. I mean, they've had like no real fight in either of their series so far, and they've just been owning
Right.
the teams. So,
Yeah, and it's like deep too. Like
right.
every single one of their starters and their sixth man. When I was kind of jotting down stats from all the series, I pretty much only wrote down one player from each team, except for the Pacers. I wrote down five,
Yeah.
because one player doesn't do justice. You got to look at the whole team.
Hmm.
Because if I told you that Tyrese Halliburton in the series is averaging 14 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 6.8 assists, you're like, okay. But if I told you that he's not leading in any statistical category,
No,
that
for
means the
real.
rest of the team is also there, like they're
Hmm.
all Miles Turner's got 2.5 blocks a game. Pascal Siakam's averaging 17 points a game. So is Miles Turner.
Yep.
Um, you got Andrew Nemhart averaging 7.5 assists in the series. Um, there's not a single guy out there that's messing around.
No, for
So
real. It's crazy. Like
it's
you said,
yeah,
night to night. It's anybody's
and it
night, for
really
real.
makes it. We know for weeks, Twano's been barking the Cavs are fake narrative. Um,
And this does
and
not
it, and
help my counter argument whatsoever. This does not
the
help
truth
me.
is, it doesn't help either side of the argument. It kind of kills it because now we'll never really get to know if the Cavs were fake or not. Because it's easy to say they're getting beat because they're injured. But I mean, the way we're talking about the Pacers, maybe they could have beat the healthy number one seed Cavs. But then you look at that one game when they were all healthy, and that's when the Cavs did win that game. So it's really hard to see how this series would go without injury, but not trying to discredit either of them.
No, yeah, 100%. And in that one game where they did win, I mean, you got Donovan Mitchell just doing normal playoff Donovan things, going off for 43 points, and Darius Garland only playing for 24 minutes that game, being on a little bit of a minutes restriction coming back. But, I mean, like you said, it looked like they were that number one seed that was coming back into full motion. I mean,
Right.
we got to remember the series before, they mopped the floor that series. And
Oh yeah.
then they came into this series and it was just like, man, they're dealing with injuries and Donovan Mitchell's out there by himself. And now finally, once they get fully healthy, Donovan Mitchell's a little overtired of having to kind of play hero ball even just to lose every single game that he was playing hero ball. I mean, he had back to
Right.
back 40 pieces just to end up being
Yeah, he's
injured the
been
next game.
debatably the best player in the second round.
Oh, yeah, right. Just going nuts every single game.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's tough. But like you said, more credit to the Pacers. I mean, their whole entire team has been going crazy. You have no idea
mhm,
who's going to be their leading scorer every night. I mean, like you even said pre-pod, Miles Turner is kind of like a potential like the guy for them this series. I mean,
no, yeah,
I had said that I
and
thought
I
it was goofy personally, but I
right, and
hear
I was just trolling
no
about it because
for
I'm all
sure.
mad at Hallie. But come say the Pacers make it to the finals, or even past the Eastern Conference Finals, Miles Turner is in conversation
For
for
like a Finals
Eastern Conference
MVP.
or a Finals
Like
MVP. So is
actually,
Pascal Siakam,
yeah.
so is Tyrese Halliburton, and then there's sleepers. There's sleepers on the team
Hmm.
that could get it, and you'd be like, oh, they deserved it because of how they performed in the finals series.
A hundred
Um,
percent. So that's why I was like bringing it up because like as I
no,
think it
yeah,
was goofy, I'm thinking on it more, and it's like, that kind of it makes sense because in a
it's close. It's close.
it's a 7 game series, and that's all we're looking at. And if Hallie has, like you were saying earlier, maybe 11-point games than 25-point games, and more 6 assist games than 17 assist games that we know he can give, and it's Nemhart that's leading the way in assists, and it's Miles Turner that's leading the way in points for that series. It's probably not going to be a Tyrese Finals MVP if they win that finals, even if he's looked at as the leader of the team.
Right.
And
And that's the
so
next thing I was going to
that's an
say is
interesting
a
combo.
finals MVP is really about stats,
It really is
So
at the end
if
of the day.
somebody has better stats than Tyrese Halliburton, nobody's trying to argue that Tyrese Halliburton isn't the leader of the team.
Mm-mm.
You can see that besides statistics, outside of basketball, you can look at the Pacers and you can tell that Tyrese Halliburton is the leader of their
Yeah,
team.
nobody was out here saying that Andre Iguodala was the best team on that Warriors team when he won
Exactly,
Finals MVP.
exactly.
Nobody was out
But
here like Iggy's better than Curry.
right. So when you take that into consideration in the conversation, there's honestly 6 people on the Pacers team that could potentially pull one of those if they do go out there and win one. And I was gonna up my game from last week when I said the Pacers were contenders and say they might be my front runners. Might be my front runners.
They're close. They're close for sure.
But and it's because of everything you just said. We haven't seen them do anything but amazing basketball this
Yeah,
whole postseason. They've been hot every single game, and yes, they face 2 teams that are dealing with injuries, but that's doesn't take away from the basketball they've been playing.
100%. Yeah, no, I mean, you see it every single finals run with every single team. You could go back 10 years in the past. Every single team that won the finals, I'm sure, played one team at least that had an injury to a vital role player that would have done amazing things, or a star player. And that's just what it is. So this is just another year of potential same stuff with that. And like we said, time and time again, more credit to the Pacers for their whole entire team playing as a whole rather than needing to rely on that hero ball, because as we see, one side's been playing hero ball the whole time with Donovan Mitchell, and the other side has been playing a more team oriented ball, and one team is up 3-1.
So within this series, kind of off topic, but did Benedict Mayhew punch or push?
Yeah, we were looking at the clip of Benedict Mathurin go. I don't even know, man. Like, I think it was
Yeah,
a
it's
push.
tough.
It's such a tough one. We both were sitting here looking at the clip probably about 500 times each, going back,
Right.
click back, click back, click back, watching
Yeah,
it
I'm
over
on
and
I'm
over.
on the punch side, he's on the push side, but I think we're both like 50-50 on
It
it if
really
we're
is
being
either way.
honest.
Yeah, flip of a
Like,
coin, but if we had to pick, he's on the
and
punch,
yeah, it
I'm on the
was
push.
tough. It was tough. If it was a punch, it was a super dirty, like
Low
discreet punch
key.
that he
Yeah.
like you got to think he must have like done that before and thought, I bet I
Yeah, I
could get
was
away
gonna
with
say
this in
that
an
was low
NBA
key
game.
some game shit. Yeah, like he
Um,
knew what he was doing.
and if it was a punch, then the reaction is, makes a lot of sense. If it
Right.
wasn't a punch, the reaction doesn't make a lot of sense at all. But it
Yeah.
really didn't look like a
It
punch.
doesn't
It really
look that
like
hard.
in slow motion at different angles.
Yeah. The only
And we were
thing that's
saying,
tough is
we're
from,
not
what were you
we're
saying?
not NBA officials, so we don't have like the best tech to look at this. We're just
Hmm.
doing it on our phones and stuff, and this is our opinion from thousands of miles away. But yeah, just I don't know. It doesn't really look like he punched him. I'm on the punch side because I think he must have punched him just because of the way that things played out, but it doesn't look like it.
Right, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it was a push, and maybe DeAndre Hunter was just a little heated up from the series that has been played out. And they showed a clip, I know, in that clip that we were watching of the replay that earlier in the series, Benedict Mathurin had like dunked on DeAndre Hunter, and he like stood over him and did a little bit of rah rah, and like it kind of started up a little bit of stuff. So there was like a little bit of previous beef in this series between the two of them being chippy, and they have been getting the matchup on each other a lot. So it's been chippy. So I don't know, but also like you said, I mean, you're not gonna go out and just straight up throw dude on the floor because he just pushed
Yeah.
off at you, and you're not gonna be like, oh, but also
And
we're
then
in
he's the one that gets ejected
right,
after you just pushed him on the
which
floor.
is
Like,
crazy to me. That is the
um,
one thing that at the end of the day, whether Benedict Mathurin did punch him or not, if somebody's getting ejected, they both need to get ejected because
honestly, yeah.
like a
Um,
punch is not worse than I'm not saying it's worse or better. I think it's like equal to what DeAndre Hunter did because it's not like the punch was like it wasn't like across the jaw. It wasn't some cockback. It was like we said, it's so small of a punch that we don't even know if it was a push off. But
right.
DeAndre Hunter's thing, we know for a fact that he ran up on bro and he like ugh, and bro fell back to the ground. Sure, he might have fell back a little extra because he was trying to get some, but like he definitely pushed him to the ground, and that was clear as day compared to a very discreet punch. So I feel like they were both pretty equal, and he could have got ejected as well. I'm not. I mean, either. I think they could have just both got techs. I don't think either of them were really that bad. If you could have just talked them down, but that one's a
Yeah, it's a
weird
tough
one for
one. It's a
sure.
tough one.
Yeah, that one's a weird one.
Definitely let us know your takes or who you agree with on that one.
Mm,
But yeah, moving to the West,
yeah, I was gonna say Thunder Nuggets.
jump into the Thunder Nuggets, the MVP battle.
Yeah, this one's been interesting for sure.
Yeah, so I was just gonna take this time to remind everybody that Giannis is the best player in the world. But yeah, it's been a good matchup for sure. The series is tied 2-2. We got the two MVPs, but they've been sleepers, you know. They haven't really been doing what people want them to be doing. I think they've been performing fine, honestly. I think that's just a narrative.
Yeah, I
But
think it's
like,
just like they're not having like these regular season MVP performances that we were used to seeing them all year, but we also have to remember that this is a playoff series and
right.
this is like what the whole entire year accumulates down to. The Thunder are circling Jokic every single game and trying to shut him down, just like the Nuggets are circling Shea and trying to shut him down every single game. And they're trying to say, hey, let the rest win. Like, and they've both been doing pretty good. I mean, Shea's not out here having 40, 50 point games every game. Jokic is being held to smaller scoring games than he's used to. He kind of looks a little flustered even on the offensive side at certain points because he just can't get his shots off. He's shooting air balls sometimes. Like it's just been looking a little ugly for Jokic on the offensive side, just like Shea comparatively to their regular season stuff.
Right.
So
Comparatively to normal, right? But they're
right,
still out
compared to
there like
themselves, yeah.
27, 26 points a game, you know. So it's not
Right.
like they're lowballing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um and also when you look at their other statistical categories, they're outshining themselves from the regular season for the most part. And that's why I feel like it's just a narrative and they're out there playing ball. Last week we said Thunder. We were
Yeah.
gruesomely wrong.
Yeah, it's
Um
definitely a lot more even. I mean, I'm still picking Thunder at the end of the day because I think the Thunder have truly played the best defense on Nikola Jokic that any team has probably this whole entire year and actually making him look flustered in certain moments. So,
and as clutch as Jokic is, I think Jokic is the clutchest person in this series, but I think the next 4 or 5 clutch people are on the Thunder.
yeah,
So
100%.
when it comes clutch time, you see the Thunder really take over the game,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's how you win a 7 game series is
Mm-hmm.
clutch time. So I'm still leaning Thunder too, just because I still think they're the most dominant team in the league, and I think that, like we've been saying, it's their playoffs to lose, you know.
Shea needs to gain a little
Um,
more trust in his guys. He needs to learn how to pass out of a double team more. I will say that. There's definitely been certain moments where he gets double teamed and it looks a little tough. He's taking these super tough shots that are like, man, if it was the regular season, that'd be cool, but pass it out to Caruso or something because the Nuggets are playing this zone that the Thunder should be taking advantage of and shooting a lot more threes on.
But yeah, I mean, series is tied. Next game is in Oklahoma City, so assuming they're going to take that one. But honestly, home court advantage has not been a thing in this second round at all.
No, every
Um,
single series it seems like nobody cares about where they play.
right. It's almost like don't even look at where they're playing because it'll just confuse you for
Yeah,
some reason.
it won't even matter. It really won't
Like,
matter at
yeah.
all this series. Any of these series, I should say.
But out of all the teams, I will say the Thunder's fan base, especially, or not especially, but also the Pacers. Those two are like the fan bases. They've been going really nuts at home games, and I think that that does matter, especially in clutch time.
Yeah, I guess that is something that we haven't mentioned really too much in these past two podcasts, but that is something that I do want to just bring up and appreciate real quick. Playoff basketball has been so fun to watch, man. Every
Hmm.
bucket, from the very first bucket down to the very last, feels so important. Every foul feels so important. Everything, every substitution, like
Right.
people are cheering on their feet, going crazy for everything. And this is what it all comes down to. And I just love this as a fan, as a true fan of the sport. This is amazing. And we, like you said at the start of the podcast, have been blessed with arguably some of the best years of basketball as of recently because it's truly the era of parity. Like, we have no idea out of these 8 teams, well, besides the Cavaliers, because, like we said, their season is all but over, but besides the 7 other teams that are left, who could go on and I mean we got 2 series that are at 2-1 and then a series that's completely tied up at 2-2. I mean, talk about parity. We have no and like you said earlier, I don't know if you said it on the pod or before the pod, the seeding has not mattered whatsoever this year whatsoever either.
Right.
Like it's been
It's just
matchup
good
based. Yeah.
basketball. Yeah. And you said those two things together, which I'm sure is just because that's why it's so exciting every time the ball goes in the basket is because that ball going in the basket means you're closer to a championship and that championship is just as real for one team as it is the next.
Mm-hmm.
Like um I have no idea where the Larry O'Brien's going in July.
No,
Who's going to
yeah.
have that, like I have no idea where it is. And that's exciting.
It's
That's
gonna be
very
so
exciting.
great, yeah. Anything else to
Yeah.
say about the Thunder Nuggets really?
Not really. I feel like
I mean, who do you think's winning
yeah,
this one? I guess we should give a
I'm
prediction of who we think's really gonna win it.
I'm going to stick with the Thunder.
Yeah, sticking with the
Um
Thunder.
but I'm going to say it's going to go to game 7.
Oh yeah, this one's going 7. This one's been
Yeah.
crazy so far. Chet needs to step it up. If Chet steps it
You
up and
know,
starts scoring a bit more, that'll be good for them because he's looked very quiet this series.
I'm not backing last week's Colin Michael and saying the Thunder are going to walk through it because obviously it's too late for that.
Obviously, we were way wrong with that one.
But I'm still leaning Thunder because I think it's the safe bet. Uh, although I gotta add, when I was watching specifically the game yesterday, I was like, this Nuggets team looks and feels like a championship team.
I
Like,
was
and
gonna make that
it's
point.
not
Yeah.
because of the way they're built, like we've been talking about all year about how teams have holes and whatnot. It's not because of that. It's because every single person on the team wants it so bad,
Mm-hmm.
and you can like see it like radiating off of them. Like they are a championship team. They're not a championship team, but you know what I'm saying. Like they have the potential to be this year a championship team. That was very confusing.
I hear what you're
Obvious,
saying. They aren't
obviously
the
the Nuggets just
championship
won, but I'm
team.
talking about this year's Nuggets team
Yeah.
aren't technically a championship team, but you can like they radiate like one,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so I'm still leaning Thunder though.
No, I hear
Shout
you.
out to Russell Westbrook locking up SGA on that one play.
I was gonna say this is a series where, as much as I wanted all these young teams to come out and change the narrative that, um, like prior, what am I trying to say? Experience in playoff basketball doesn't matter as much as just being good, actually. This is a series where you can kind of see the experience trump just the good sometimes. Like, the
Right.
Thunder are the best team in the NBA according to record and this, that, and the other and everything, but there are certain plays where the Nuggets just look more experience. They seem like they've been in the league longer. Like they know a lot more about what's going out on the floor and how to experience playoff basketball. And that's just 100% the truth. So, I mean, that's why you see them really putting up such a crazy fight against a team
Right.
that I think everyone thought was going to just dog walk right to the play or right to the finals. So, like you
No,
said, I think it's going to go 7, but easy pick is the Thunder.
you just said what I said, but with real words.
So, moving on to the Timberwolves and the Warriors.
Almost chose to wear my Curry jersey today.
This one might
Um,
honestly be my favorite series so far, I'm not gonna lie.
no, I feel a similar way.
In
So,
in this round, not completely, but in this round.
okay.
I'm gonna give it to the
I
Knicks Pistons series throughout so far. That one was just the
Yeah, that
dog
was really
the
fun.
dog fight of that was nuts.
I wish that was the finals. I know that's not
Honestly.
possible, but like I wish that was the vibe of the
It
finals.
felt like
Like,
it, dude. Like,
oh,
but that's not
all
what we're
right, yeah.
talking about. We're
But
talking about the
this
Timberwolves
this Warriors
Warriors.
Timberwolves, yeah. Anthony Edwards, um, this started last postseason, but now it's coming back heavy, is like slowly becoming my favorite player to watch in the
Oh
league.
my gosh, yeah. He is
Um,
cinema every time he
yeah,
touches the floor.
yeah,
Even when he's
and
not on the floor, he's just when the camera is in front of him, he is movie. Like
you know, when he's mic'd up,
I'm saying, dude,
I
like
love it.
he's just great. But yeah, just shooting phenomenally. Like he's just been leading the team well. Actually,
Julius Randle as well has been like big playoff step up. Really looking like a very like shoving it in everybody's faces who said he was washed or not a good
100%.
role player or anything. Um, he's really that second option on the team, and I'm loving that
This
Anthony
whole
Edwards, Julius
playoffs too,
Randle
yeah.
is, yeah, it's been a big postseason step. And yeah, the Timberwolves lead 2-1. They've been playing good. So here's the narrative we're not talking about is that Curry got injured and went out of the game.
It's true.
And he hasn't come back. So Jimmy Butler's been the team leader, which that's been fun for me to watch too. Obviously, I'm not happy that Curry's injured, but it's been really fun to see Jimmy Butler lead the Warriors,
Yeah,
you
Jimmy
know?
is a fun
Like,
leader. I mean, we just saw it with the Miami Heat. He was really good at just bringing the team mentality, the team vibes, that good hard work. You already see him and Buddy Hield having such a like good relationship, doing post game press conferences together and whatnot. So, like you said, I mean, I agree. It's just been super fun to watch Jimmy like
yeah.
lead the team now. But it's good that you bring that up because it really is like a huge thing about this series.
No, yeah, because it's really so Curry might come back game 6 or is supposed to come back game 6. And it's basically the
If there
Warriors
is a
are
game
just
six.
right. Warriors need to win one game to make it to game 6. That's their mentality right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
and
is
yeah, I
tough.
mean, right, like they're just trying to hang on for their guy to come back. That is so tough.
Yeah. Like you're
And the
hanging on
Timberwolves
just
just
for
have to
somebody to
like,
like what put on a cape and hopefully win it all for you. That's already I mean, I hate to say it, but Curry's past his prime, let's be honest. It's not 2017,
right,
2018, 2016, 2015. Like it's not that year span of like 4 or 5 years where he was just on top of the world anymore.
right. And it's like no discredit to Steph Curry's legacy, like you said, but are we really taking Steph Curry over Anthony Edwards in the playoffs this year?
Right.
Because it's starting to maybe be like, Jackson Storm's passing Lightning McQueen.
It really
McQueen is
is fading
fading
fast.
fast.
Like
But no disrespect to any of our favorite players growing up that are still in the league.
Oh no, not at
Just,
all. I mean, if anything, I
but
think
it's
we both
true.
want Curry to come back game 6
Oh
and
man, that would be
create some
nuts.
craziness and bring it to game 7 or something and go off for like 40 or something. That'd be awesome.
Right,
But
that'd be the most watched game in the NBA since the Lakers got eliminated,
damn.
unfortunately. But
But like, no, for real though, like it's just a tough reality, like you said, that
right,
it's not probably gonna happen and Anthony Edwards is becoming almost everybody's close to everybody's top favorite player to watch in the playoffs. I mean, I'm not going to say it's 100% everybody's, but at least like top 3, top 5, everybody's
Yeah, you
got him
got to
up
put him
there.
in a top list for sure.
Yeah, you know
Because
what I mean? He is just
he's
entertainment.
yeah, pure
Especially
cinema,
just
like you
like the
said.
story of like he was told that he was just a dunker and that he was this athlete. So then he started looking at people's shot forms and whatnot. And he looked at Damian Lillard's release point on his shot over this offseason, and he talked a lot about in interviews about how he changed his shot release point to where Dame releases it. And now he's like top 5% on 3-point shooting in the league. Like, what a crazy story of like he was told that he wasn't a good shooter, so he went and studied somebody else's, one of the best shooter in the league's game, and was like, let me try that. And then it worked for him. And then all throughout the start of the season, everybody was like, hey, you got to learn to pass out of a double team, man. Like, you're the number one. Like, you're not passing out of a double team well. You know who he said he went and watched? Luka Doncic. You know what he's doing well now? Passing out of a double team like Luka Doncic. And look at what is happening. I mean,
Right. And I don't think people understand the amount of like honestly like skill and talent that it takes to be able to mimic somebody else's game like
a
that.
hundred
Because if it
percent.
was easy, everybody would be in the NBA. You know, I'd go outside right now and figure out Damian Lillard's 3-point shot. I'd spend
Mm-hmm.
all summer on it. So next fall I'd be ready to go just
Yeah,
like he did.
we'd be hitting the
But,
summer league
you know,
next year.
the reality is I can spend a lot of time out there on the court and I can get a lot better, but I'm never going to be Damian Lillard or Luka Doncic. And Anthony Edwards was able to just do that.
Yeah, just turn into those guys when he needs to.
Right. And that, yeah, that's that guy.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, my prediction for this, I'm going to take Timberwolves. Because I think the what the Timberwolves have to do right now is win easy games. It's hard to call any second round playoff game an easy game, so I'm not trying to say that the Warriors aren't going to put up a fight and that the Timberwolves don't have to try. You know, it's still a playoff game, but compared to what they were expecting, they just have to win pretty easy games, you
Yeah,
know?
they just have to win Curryless Warriors games, and that's
Right.
comparatively pretty easy. Yeah.
If they lose one, that's it's up in the air, but I think I'm still leaning Timberwolves. Um, just because of not only the playoff rising of Anthony Edwards, but Julius Randle, like we always talked about. They're just a very confident team.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna go Timberwolves in 6. I think the Butler-led Warriors probably could win one game, but I don't think Curry coming back is going to be enough. I think Curry coming back is going to be one of those situations where we see him kind of on a minutes restriction and not quite himself. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
we
we
got to
don't even
remember,
know if he's gonna come back for
right, we
game
got to
six, you
right,
know?
exactly. We got to remember that this is like a up in the air thing exactly, and that like he might like there's no guarantee that he's just going to be 100% Curry when he comes back, or that he's not going to be, you know what I mean, on a minutes restriction or something. Like, we don't know that he's just going to come out and just play 40 minutes and just torch it up. Like, this isn't going to just be
I
that.
will
So,
say, based on our takes last week and how it went, that's probably what he's gonna do
yeah,
now.
now that we said this though, yeah, Curry's going to come out. He's going to watch this podcast. He's going to get really angry, and he's going to come back game 5 instead of game 6, a game early, on some John Cena coming to the Royal Rumble in 2008 and just dominate and just go 60 points every single game and just win. It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
was
like,
gonna
oh,
say
okay,
just
sick.
60 points, 60-point game.
Yeah,
Then he's gonna sit game six out because that was too much. That's gonna be the secret Jimmy win. And then it's gonna be game seven, and you know, game seven's a game seven. Who knows?
exactly.
But yeah, I think that kind of sums up that series. I mean,
Yeah,
it's really just that Curry injury kind of looming. Similar to the Cavs, it's like we'll never really know how the series would have went if Curry was healthy the whole time. Um,
but it's just that time of the year. I mean, certain guys,
right.
older guys, or even the younger guys, or anybody in between, it's extra games than what you're usually used to. If you know what I mean, you're only prepping for those 82 games, and that's not to say, or yeah, that's not to say that Curry isn't prepping for more games, because obviously he's won multiple championships and whatnot, but it's just hard to get your body ready for 82 games in one regular season and then all of these extra games afterwards that are arguably higher intensity, higher, you know what I mean? Just like way more. Like it's like double intensity, double, like everything.
Right.
So, um, this is just what you see at the end of every year in the playoffs is just certain teams kind of falling victim to this. Like you said, same situation with the Cavs. I mean, we have no idea what it would really look like if they were fully healthy, but this is what it is, and the Timberwolves just have to smell the blood in the water and act like sharks now. They have to act like sharks.
If you could turn injuries off like in 2K, the Bucks would have 4 championships.
Nah, the Bulls wouldn't have ever got rid of Rose, and we'd have a dynasty. Y'all
Well,
would
he would have started to decline by the time Giannis won his first chip.
Giannis would have never got that chip. He would have never went to the Bucks. I don't know. I'm
That
just
doesn't make
saying
any
shit.
sense.
Yeah, I'm just saying shit just to say it now. Just because I want it to be that opposite, where like
It's
instead of the
like,
Bulls being shit and the
right.
Bucks being good this whole time, like it has been for years now, the Bulls are
No,
good
it's
and the
like
Bucks are shit.
when the Bucks got the 14th pick for Giannis, they actually were even worse that year because the Bulls were so good, so they got the first pick.
Right, right.
That's what would have happened. Then Giannis would have been on the 76ers,
Ooh,
and
with
I would hate
Embiid,
him. That would be nuts.
that would be
They
crazy.
probably wouldn't have drafted Embiid. All right, no more hypothetical.
Yeah,
Celtics
it
Knicks.
gets too crazy. Yeah,
We could
Celtics
have a
Knicks
whole hypothetical podcast where we
for
just
real.
like imagine something and just run with it
Just
for an
rabbit hole
hour.
down. Yeah.
Right. Like, and then this would happen and another time. Off season soon.
Yeah, for real. We got some off-season ideas.
So for the third time today, um, Celtics and Knicks, we were completely wrong. We thought the Celtics were gonna win this one easily. I don't think we said they were gonna walk through it, but I think we both took Celtics.
Yeah, I definitely think we just based off of previous years and how they've looked and how their team is structured, we were pretty confident that it was going to be the Celtics. I think we both maybe said six, but like you said, not like it was just going to be a dog
Yeah.
walk because that obviously means that the Knicks take 2 games like they have. But I don't think we thought that 3 games in the Knicks were going to be up 2-1.
No.
I think we
And
thought
and
it'd be the
even now,
opposite, if anything.
even now I'm not ready to discount the Celtics. Even though I do see the Knicks taking over this series. It's just that I think it's respect for the champions. And also, like, even goes beyond that, like respect for these specific champions, because we know that was a really good team, both offensively and defensively. So all season into the postseason, I've just had respect for the Celtics. And I'm assuming, in the same way that I'm assuming the Thunder would make it, because that's the easy guess, I'm just assuming the Celtics would make it, because that's the easy guess. And even now, when I see them kind of, I'm realizing it would have to take for the Celtics to lose for me to admit that the Celtics can lose.
Really? I'm already completely over it. I'm already completely swapped over to the point of like, man, the NBA is in the era of parody. Like that is the era of
Yeah.
the NBA. We're over super teams. We're over
Oof.
this, that, and the over. It is the era
I
of
feel that
parody.
energy.
Every year, I think for the next like 5 to 10 years, I think we're gonna have no idea who's gonna win a chip. Next year, the Spurs could win a chip, dude. Who knows what takeoff Victor Wembanyama's gonna have if he comes back healthy and goes crazy and plays a full season with De'Aaron Fox? That could
Oh,
be
who
nuts.
knows?
Who
Yeah, that
knows if
could
the
be nuts.
Rockets
That
go
could be
out and get
nuts.
a crazy? Where's KD going, and what effect is that gonna have? Like, dude,
Yeah, you did just say like the two top teams that Giannis would be interested in.
you know what I'm saying
So
though?
I'm
Like,
sitting here like, dang, that's actually way more accurate than he even
there's
knows.
so much parity, man. Like, it's
Yeah, there really is. And I'm feeling that now as you're saying it. I hate to just change my opinion. I'm not though. I'm gonna
no,
ride with the
yeah.
Celtics, but like I do feel it. I feel that the Knicks are like winning this series. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, they
obviously
got
they're
the
up
bull
one
by.
game, but like they've been in control all
Hmm.
3 games even. Well,
Hmm.
I mean, they got kind of blown
Oh
out,
yeah,
but
they got blown out that one game. They got destroyed that game.
but other than that, they've been in very good control. And they've been playing really good defense in both series that they played this postseason, and
Hmm.
that's, you know, what I just awarded the Celtics for doing. So
Yeah, and Jalen Brunson really just has shown that he is that guy. I think every single game this playoffs, he has really shown that he is a bona fide leader and that ultimately the Mavericks made a huge mistake by trading him away however many years ago. For real, bro. He is so dirty. I
Yeah, bro.
love that shit, bro.
I've
Like,
been doing that to people at work. When
so
they like say
dirty.
something to me that like isn't important about work, or they just like say something, I'll just be like, and walk away.
They're like, what the hell?
And yeah, that's that Brunson effect. I know kids are doing that when they throw their paper trash away and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, he's almost on like the Ant or Donovan Mitchell level of entertainment in the playoffs,
Oh my
where
gosh, yeah, I love Jalen
it's
Brunson. He
like
is
this
so
dude,
fun, especially because
you
he,
know, he's showing up in the playoffs.
yeah, and he almost makes it like he's like Tim Duncan, but way more fun because he's so fundamentally sound. Like his footwork is there. He's hitting it off the glass. Like he's hitting you with these pump fakes and all these little jab steps and stuff. Like I said with the footwork and whatnot. But like it's so much. It's a technical game. It's not as flashy. I mean, he's got handles, crazy. I'm not saying that he doesn't have handles or he's not flashy too, but it's just such a technical game and it's I don't know how else to put it. Like he just I don't know. Yeah, it's very technical. Like and it's like a Tim Duncan type of way, like fundamentally sound basketball where like every bucket I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's going in." Cuz like he either makes like a really good crossover to make like perfect space and he's shooting it right at the perfect time when he has the perfect amount of space or he's shooting a floater and he's hitting it off the backboard at the perfect spot of the corner of the square on the backboard, just something. And I'm like, man, like this dude studies the game on a different level. Like Jalen Brunson is going to be very good for years to come, no matter
Oh
what,
yeah,
even despite injuries and stuff, because he is so fundamentally sound that there are certain things that you're not going to be able to take away from his game. Like he's just going to be good for years to come.
you know him and Kat are both from New Jersey.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that they do kind of have Jersey vibes, and I see them being like homies because of that. I don't know. I see them being like a very good duo
Dude,
to
that
add on to
whole
your
team
Jalen
is
Brunson.
homies for
Like
real.
I think that they're gonna be yeah good for a while, almost comparable to the Thunder, where it's like you guys are set, keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You got good people, re-sign them. You know, make money moves if you have to, but keep the core team together the best you can. The Knicks are in the same boat.
For sure. Yeah. I definitely think that if they can keep, like you said, their core group together for years to come, they're going to be in this exact spot competing for championships for years to come. I mean, Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride still has chance to grow and whatnot. You got Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Carl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson. If you can hold on to him, even though he seems like he's been like the most valuable trade asset, like rim protecting role, like roll to the rim offensively center for the past like 2 3 years. I feel like he's been in trade rumors, but it also seems like despite that he's been on the Knicks. So I mean, who knows? Maybe they're just using that,
You know, that's just Lakers fans.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it really is, too. Actually, funny enough.
They're out not to dig on Lakers fans directly, but I'm going to, bro. They're out here on Twitter like potential starting centers for the Lakers next year with 29 centers. Like, come on.
How do you have that many trade targets?
Right.
How does your board get that big? Like,
I saw one. I'm gonna keep trolling. I saw one that
hey,
was
hey,
like
it's okay. Because
potential.
honestly, if anything, we've done a little bit too much love into the Lakers so far on this
That's
podcast.
true.
So we can
We love the
hate.
Lakers a lot during the regular
Yeah, we
season.
can hate
All right.
now.
Yeah, now that they're eliminated. No, bro, I saw one that was like a potential Lakers lineup, and it was Luka, LeBron, Giannis, James Harden,
How'd they
Steven
get
Adams,
Harden?
Nas Reed.
Nas?
There was one more too that was like a role player that I was like, come on. But yeah, it was basically just like that, where it was like somebody's dream lineup.
Wait, Luca and LeBron are both in this too?
Yeah, they're still there.
Damn. I was gonna say, did they trade LeBron for all this or no? No, they kept it
Nah,
all.
no, I
Everybody
don't know
just
who
goes to
they're
the
trading
Lakers for
away.
fun. I don't think
Right.
they're trading anybody. I don't think it's possible.
No.
No, like contract wise. Like I think everybody would just have to take pay cuts. And didn't LeBron already? Wasn't there an article that came out recently that LeBron was decided that he wasn't going to take a pay cut for the rest of his
Yeah.
career?
Yeah, he's gonna take the full money now. So
That's
I
interesting.
mean, look what happened, you know? He was like, I'm gonna take a pay cut for my homie Klay Thompson, and Klay Thompson's like, I'm gonna go to Dallas.
I mean,
Then
yeah,
he's like,
100%. I hear that,
you
but
know, and it
do we
wasn't even
think
just
do
Klay,
we
it was
think
like a
that
handful of people that didn't go to the Lakers.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's not smart on LeBron's part, but
Right.
is it smart for the Lakers to keep LeBron knowing this now?
No, I actually am starting to think that LeBron's for sure gonna end his career somewhere else. Partly because of that, and partly just because I don't know, just if he wants to keep playing a couple, not even just like one or two more seasons, but like a decent amount more seasons, like 4 or 5, he's probably gonna have to go to another team.
I think LeBron is almost like cornered himself into a spot where he either has to retire as a Laker or he has to go to a completely brand new team and retire there because the Cavs already have a foundation of a championship competing team that they're not going to take LeBron to mess it all up. I mean, if there's one thing we know about LeBron is wherever he goes, he is a full ass system and he creates a whole lot of a lot. I'm not saying it's bad stuff because if anything, he only brings good to a team usually. But when it's a team like the Cavs
No,
that already has a whole system and is already competing for a championship, bringing a guy like LeBron in will do you bad actually.
it's almost like LeBron is a pre-built PC that you can buy it and then you have everything you need, or you can build the PC yourself.
Right, and they already
Once you
built
have,
one.
yeah, once you have a built PC, there's no reason to get a LeBron. You know,
Literally.
the whole packet. You already got everything you need. You
Literally.
don't need the all in one package type deal.
Mm-hmm.
But
Getting the pre-built's just gonna mess up your vibe of your. So yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
they
I
still love
just,
to talk though.
I mean,
Just
yeah, I just don't think he would go back to the Cavs because of that. There's no way he's retiring as a Miami Heat because like, why would he? I mean, I feel like that was just a
yeah, that
fun
doesn't
little.
really make sense
You
at
know what I
all.
mean? Yeah.
That would almost be like people would turn it as him trying to be more important to the Miami Heat franchise than he is.
Right.
Um, whether he was trying to do that or not, that's how it would get
Yeah. People would be
portrayed.
like, "Oh, he's trying to pass up D Wade or something," or just create some weird narrative.
You know, and if he went to the Warriors, he'd be a ring chaser.
That's why I'm like, he's almost cornering himself into he either has to retire as a Laker or he has to like go somewhere completely different, like the Warriors or like the Bulls or like the Bucks or like I don't even know the Nets or maybe stick around until the Las Vegas Aces come around or the Supersonics come back or who knows like
LeBron for Giannis?
that's the only thing that made sense in my head when I see all these photoshops of Giannis in a Lakers jersey. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Even
No,
though,
it has to be the only thing that would make sense. I've
yeah,
thought about that too. I was like, we're not taking Dalton Connect, and you seen the Lakers picks? They're just as bad as the
right.
Bucks. You
And they're
know,
not
they're
going to
not giving
trade
us
Luka. They just
right.
decided that
Like,
they're giving their whole future to that man.
yeah, that would have to be like a superstar trade scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bucks already said no to Luka too. So
Right. So they're not going to take an aged, almost retired Luka in LeBron. like,
dang, I just realized, bro. I bet John Horst really wishes he said yes to that. With the
yeah,
state of things right now,
I'm sure
we
he
could have been
wishes he said
already
that.
we could have been already a couple steps into a rebuild.
Like 4 or 5 steps into a rebuild.
Yeah,
We
bro,
got
could
the
have
whole
already had
superstar
Dame
and the
gone
young
before the
talent.
injury. Right. Just no offense to Dame. No offense to anyone. I'm the no offense guy.
No, you're just looking retrospectively. I mean, it's at the point where like you guys are basically at a rebuild and you're kind of wishing that you got ahead on it. I get it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if
It's not
anybody
the it's
gets it,
not the worst thing
if anybody gets it, it's
that
a
the Bucks
Bulls
front
fan
office.
that kept around DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine for like 2, 3 seasons more than we should have.
Right.
So I
And yeah, that's
definitely
what I
feel
was
you.
saying is like it's not the worst thing a front office could do,
yeah.
you know. All things considered, I'm happy that they were staying loyal to Giannis in that moment because he's always been loyal to us. So,
Right.
but
I don't think we ever
well,
actually finished our predictions on this.
yeah, I was gonna jump back. I was like, we're way off
Okay.
the Celtics
Yeah.
Knicks. I feel like we're done talking about it, but yeah, we got to take predictions.
Right.
And yeah, man, it's like I said, I'm not discounting the Celtics until they get eliminated. Truly, like
Really. I think the Knicks have this series by the horns. I'm going Knicks in five. I think they're winning every game out.
Knicks in five.
In five.
I would get I would give you Knicks in
I
six.
think the Celtics won their game.
Because I
The
know I'm being a
the
little
Knicks
bit
just
delusional
look
right now.
too good right now, and the Celtics, I don't know. It looks like there's maybe some like locker room stuff going on. Like these guys just don't look good right now. Comparatively to what they
I hear
have
you. When you
comparatively to
put it
what they
like
have
that,
been in
like,
years past, they
and
are
that's
supposed
something
to
I
be
honestly
coming out
haven't
here and
been
looking
paying attention
fucking
to.
nasty, dude. This is like the best built
Just
team. This is
assuming that they're
still the
good.
same team that just a year and a half, 2 years ago we said was the best built team in history since like the Curry and KD Warriors. This is still that team. What have they lost and accumulated? If anything, they've only gotten better because Peyton Pritchard has turned into like a damn near all-star off the bench. And same with Derek
Um,
White.
Honestly, I think a really important point is Porzingis. I think
That's true.
Porzingis matters a lot more than they're making him. I mean, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, yes, are important because they're the guys that do stuff, but Porzingis really does a lot for that team. I think
No
he's a
doubt.
very underrated player on that team, and at times looks like a number two option. I'm not saying who would turn into the number three, but you sense it at times where like Porzingis really matters, and he hasn't been playing games, so I'm gonna take the easy cop out and say it's an injury. Knicks are taking advantage of injury, just like the Pacers. But no, I respect what you're saying. Like, I definitely could see the Knicks winning this series. It's just almost like shocking. Like,
I mean,
it's
yeah.
almost like culture shocking to hear you talking about like the parody ball. And I'm like, dang, he's right. But I'm like, not willing to admit it completely.
Right, because we're so
I'm
used
like,
to like
yeah,
one team being a dynasty for at least 2, 3 years, 4 years, like coming to the finals every single year on one side. But
it's especially tough because I almost feel like the Pistons should have won that first series. So
and
I'm
I
like,
guess we're
dang,
honestly so
are
used to
the
that too
Pistons a
because like
contender?
if we're honest, like the second, well, I guess I can't even say second. It's probably still the most watched and most popular sport in America. It just doesn't feel like it to us because it's not our favorite. But football, that's still not even like a sport of parody. I mean, we've seen the Chiefs win it for years and go to the Super Bowl for years, and then right before that, who was it? Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl for years and winning for
Right. You
years.
got
So
to talk
like,
about the fact that the Eagles have been right there going to the Super Bowl a bunch of times
right,
during that.
yeah. So
It's
like,
not like they've been playing different teams every year.
right. So we're honestly very used to like not parody in most sports that that we have been really consuming a majority of. So it's honestly not that surprising to hear you say like, whoa, like this is crazy to hear that like the Celtics might get knocked off before even the
Right.
conference finals. Like because
And
that
it's
is
like,
crazy. That is nuts.
look back at all our podcasts. You'll see us say that the Knicks have been a contender since day one of the season. So it's not like I'm trying to discredit the Knicks. I'm just shook to think that the Celtics might lose in the second round.
No, yeah, I mean if you look at the East, it's definitely the perfect example of parity in the NBA. I mean, the two top seeds are looking like they're about to get knocked off. The Knicks are taking control of their series up 2-1, and the Cavaliers are not only dealing with injury, but they're just down 3-1. So like
Right.
what are you going to do with that? So, yeah.
But yeah, I think that that pretty much summarizes our check-in on the playoffs. That's where
Yeah.
we're at. We're gonna take a little break and we'll get back to some more stuff soon. I think you legally have to cut that part, but
The fifth pick in the NBA draft will be made by the Utah Jazz.
Oh, oh my god. There's going to be a jump.
And now we have our
yeah, I
final
mean,
four. Buckle up. It is the Hornets.
bro, it still could be the Spurs. It still could be the Spurs,
and
man.
the Mavericks.
The Mavericks are up there.
Mavericks have never gotten the first pick this year.
Crazy that 3 out of the 4 teams are playoff teams next year, potentially.
The fourth pick
Yeah, literally.
in the NBA draft
Could have been
goes
this
to
year potentially too.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Wow. Dude,
Like what?
what is happening right now?
Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's nuts. Literally the two best teams in the draft lottery.
The San Antonio Spurs.
Dude, it's the Mavericks. Are you serious? Luka just got traded away, and now Nico Harrison gets this bunny pick?
Bro, they literally just said too before you got on the call, or before you came back the first time, and we're like, the Mavericks have never won the pick, and like talked heavy about the Mavericks. So,
Dude, are we serious right now?
yeah, it's Cooper Flagg doesn't look that thrilled.
Again, they had the chance to get in the top 4 at 8.5%.
Yeah, I mean, look what they just did to Luka.
To
Yeah.
win the number 1
He
pick
could do
in the-
everything for them, and he still has to feel scared that they're going to trade his ass away.
So the Hawks
Bro, it was the second lowest odds of all time to get the number 1 pick. You want to know what the first one was? Kyrie Irving. Then Derrick Rose.
This is unbelievable.
All right, kick it back into it. So we just spent our break watching the draft lottery because it was on, and we wanted to know. So we're going to talk about that. Kind of just to kick off, I'm just going to read the 1 through 14. I'm actually going to go 14 through 1 because that's how they do it, and it's more cinematic that way. So even though you can definitely probably look since this won't be posted till tomorrow. All right, with the 14th pick, the Spurs. 13 was the Hawks. 12 was the Bulls. 11 was the Blazers. 10 was the Rockets. 9 was the Raptors. I guess it's not was, it's is going to be.
Yeah.
Future tense. 8's going to be the Nets. 7 is the Pelicans. 6 is the Wizards. 5 is the Jazz. And then the top 4. 4 went to the Hornets. 3 to the 76ers. 2 to the Spurs. And number 1 went to the Dallas Mavericks.
I mean,
for the first time ever.
Y'all saw our first initial reaction there in that little in between. You'll be able to see the little clip cut of us kind of freaking out of the top 4. I mean, but after us sitting here for a little bit and thinking about it, I mean, man, this is crazy, man. The best 2 teams in the draft lottery got the top 2 picks, and not only that, but all of the worst teams like fell considerably. The Wizards fell down, you said, to 7 or 6.
They were 6. The Pelicans were 7. So
right,
the 5, 6, and 7, it could have been the 1, 2, and 3, honestly.
For real, even 4. The Hornets going down to 4 is tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
Like,
all things considered, the Hornets didn't get it the worst. So
no, for sure. They'll still get a guy that at least is a name out of those. Because there's 4 guys that I think everybody's looking at out of this draft the most. With big eyes. I mean, there's a lot of names out of this draft that I think could turn into something. But those top 4 guys are really the ones that we're talking about the most. And, man, this is crazy. I just don't even know what to say. I mean, the Cooper Flagg's going to come into, like we were talking about when he was getting interviewed right after the top 4 got announced. I mean, they're talking about it as if he's already going to the Mavericks, which, I mean, we all kind of
yeah,
assume,
I mean, they were
obviously.
asking him, they're like, how do you feel about playing alongside Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving? Like,
Yeah.
he's already on the team.
Like, it's crazy to me that he's come into, like, such a fully set team already. Like, I can't even believe that. Like,
and he's going to fill the hole that they need, too, which is crazy.
He's going to arguably come in and be able to have, like, the best first year by a rookie record-wise. If they can stay healthy and they can actually perform well together, because they looked pretty good after that trade and with Anthony Davis and whatnot, and then Kyrie went down and Anthony Davis was having a little bit of injuries towards the end of the year. So if they can come out at the start of the year healthy and play good with Cooper Flagg, I mean, hey man, this could be really scary. And if the Spurs can get a really good pick, I think that's something that we're not talking, that a lot of people aren't really talking about as much, because the main narrative is going to be that Nico Harrison gets gifted the number 1 pick right after trading away Luka Doncic, and everybody being like, whoa about that. Victor Wembanyama is getting the number 2 pick as his sidekick right after just having the rookie of the year this last year in Stephon Castle and still having De'Aaron Fox. Like this is gonna shape up to be a good team. They pick up an
Yeah.
Ace Bailey or something like man, this is the Spurs are gonna be scary. Like those top two teams, if they can stay healthy this next year and they're whoever they pick can well, the Mavs are picking uh dang, I'm having a brain fart. Cooper Flag. If the Mavs are picking Cooper Flag, but whoever the Spurs pick, I mean, if both of those guys can perform and play well with their pretty well built teams already, they're gonna just
And
make
they got the
the
14th pick too, so you know they're gonna pull out some depth with it.
right that, or they might trade it off and trade it with somebody and do something because they've been in all these different trade talks of Giannis or whoever. I mean, man, this
Yeah, obviously I've been
KD.
following the Giannis trade rumors heavily because I'm a Bucks fan, but I will say this draft lottery mattered a lot. And looking at it how it looks now, it looks like Giannis might end up on the Spurs. Um, if all the narratives are true, the Bucks are looking for picks. They're looking for picks immediately and future. They're trying to get both, and the Spurs are one of those teams that had them. So now looking at how the draft lottery played out, they might want that number
Oh,
two or number 14 pick. 14 pick.
if I'm gonna be honest, if I'm the Spurs GM, I'm looking to trade number 2 and 14 for Giannis.
Yeah, that's a
You
wonderful
already
trade, especially with some of the young guys that you can give us from that team.
you already have Vic, you already have Stephon Castle, you already have Devin Vassell, you already have De'Aaron Fox, you already have this like great young foundation, and the Bucks kind of are already pushed into a corner where it looks like they have to trade Giannis. So I mean, they're gonna get a good package back. I'm not saying that the Bucks are just gonna get some crummy package, but they've almost been pushed into a corner of they're not gonna get as much as I think we all think they're gonna get for Giannis because it kind of looks like, I mean, what else are the Bucks gonna do? Just keep Giannis and not win championships just like they are. You know what I mean? They kind of have to trade Giannis, so
right.
his trade value kind of in turn goes down a little bit, and people know opposing GMs know that they can give up a little bit less for Giannis than maybe if they were just asking when they were going on their championship runs. Because if it was 2021, you're not prying Giannis from the Bucks, even if you traded him Luka. But like you had said earlier, I mean, now you kind of wish you did trade Giannis for Luka when they had rejected it because now you're looking back like, dang, what are we even going to get for Giannis? And it could just be a number 2, number 14 pick and Jeremy Sohan and some other role players or something like that. You know what I mean? Something, I have no idea. Maybe that's a terrible trade too. I'm not a GM, but um,
One,
man,
all right. So here's a counter take to your take, even though I think it's a good take. Um, is that I think I think Giannis loves Milwaukee. I'm not trying to say he's gonna
100%.
stay in Milwaukee, but I'm gonna say that if Giannis could control the trade package in some way, which obviously he can't control what they're giving them, but he most likely has the power to tell John Horst that he doesn't want to be traded for that trade package. I think he might do that for the Bucks. Now, am I dipping into a little bit of faith and love and hope right here? Yes, of course, obviously, that would be unheard of for him to do that. But I don't know. I feel like Giannis doesn't need to win a championship to be happy in Milwaukee. He might be considering other options. He might want to go win another championship, and I think that would be the best decision for him. But I think he knows that he doesn't necessarily need to do that. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just going on a tangent, but I don't think he would let them do us that dirty. You know,
I think
it'd be the
Giannis.
opposite of the Jimmy Butler saga.
I think with the Shams report that has come out that he is for the first time open to looking towards his future, I think at this point he is not worried about the Bucks. I think for the first time in his career, that's what that means is he is not worried about Milwaukee. He does not
No,
care
no,
about the
no. That's
Bucks.
not what he said. He
He
said it's open-minded. You know that if Giannis was like, I will consider it, that they would run with that. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't know if it's like completely wide open just because Giannis said he's considering it, you know?
I don't know.
Are what did you
I think he's looking to future teams
are you
as
are
well.
you say he's not thinking about Milwaukee at all? I
I'm
don't think
saying I
that's
don't.
true.
Yeah, I think he doesn't really care what he gets traded for. I think if anything, it'd be goofy to want Milwaukee to get as much as
Oh
possible
yeah, I
for
guess to
him.
that point, that is a Bucks fan fantasy for sure.
You
What
know
I
what I
was
mean?
saying there,
Because I don't think,
but
if
I
anything,
don't
he
think
wants
it's
to get
that
traded
like
for as little as possible, so whatever future team he goes to has as much as possible still.
I don't think the media is as real. Like I don't think the media narrative is as true as Giannis feels though. Like I think that he should leave. I say this over and over again because I want to stress that, like, if I were Giannis, I'd be out. And I'm not going to be mad at him if he does that. But I don't think that he's 100% or even 75% on board with leaving. I think that he really does love Milwaukee and doesn't think that he necessarily needs to leave. But what I read into the Shams thing is he is open-minded to it. Like he understands that what I just said is true. Anybody else would be out, and this is if you're going to leave, now's the time to do it. I think he understands that and he's considering it, and that's probably what's going to happen, but I think he does not want that,
But I
like
think a
deep
lot of it
down.
doesn't play into him. I think you're also giving too much power into these players. Do you think Luka wanted to get traded? Luka wanted to
No, no,
stay
no,
with
no, no.
Dallas
Like I said,
forever.
that's just a Bucks fantasy that Giannis would veto it. I know that he really it's like not as much up to his decision, but they're not going to trade him unless he says he wants to be traded. That's what they've said consistently recently too.
I don't buy it.
I have to buy it, man.
You're not gonna go out there and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna trade our star when you still haven't gotten a trade for him yet. Because that would be goofy. Of course you're gonna say that you're gonna be loyal to him forever because then you look
Nah,
like a
I
weird
gotta believe that,
organization.
man. I gotta believe they're telling me the
That's
truth, you
just
know?
NBA
They
politics.
said they'll never trade
They're
they'll never
playing
trade
y'all.
Giannis unless he asks out.
They're
And that's been
playing
true.
y'all.
That's been true every year that has been bad before now. So
I'm not buying it. After
I'm
this,
100% under the impression that if Giannis has to ask out for them to trade him, I don't think they're just going to trade him without his permission. So I guess I am saying I think he has that power.
yeah, and that's where we disagree because
Like,
after this
like
Luka
I hear
trade this
you.
year, I totally disagree because there
I
is
hear you
no
there.
way that Giannis
You
has
got me on my toes with that
nearly
one.
enough
You know,
power
I don't have
to do
anything to
that.
say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, like you said, we just saw Luca get traded when he didn't ask for it, didn't want it, and he cried about it. You know, so I can't argue against that. But I still have faith that it's different in Milwaukee.
It ain't
Nico
different.
Harris,
It ain't
Nico Harris is
no
a
different in
one-off
Milwaukee.
scenario. If Giannis wants to stay, they'll be like, all right, man, you got it. They're gonna make more money off of Giannis finishing his career in Milwaukee than off of some rebuild that they're gonna fail at for the next decade.
How do you know that? They can turn into the OKC Thunder. That's the thought process every time.
I know, I know. I just don't trust them to do that. I really am not looking forward to a Bucks rebuild, because the Bucks building around Giannis has not gone well.
Yeah, and honestly, they're not. They've proven to be not really that great with young development since getting Giannis. Giannis is really their only one superstar gem. Chris Middleton
They
was
didn't try
even
that,
yeah, Chris Middleton was even kind of stamped for himself already in Detroit by the time he came
right?
over. Like he was already a good scorer and whatnot. Like sure he got better in Milwaukee, but that wasn't really in a test to Milwaukee. He was already a set NBA player at that point, and that was kind of on his own off-season work and whatnot. So credit to him for that. But yeah, Giannis is really their one guy that they
Yeah,
took
so I don't
from being
really.
a rookie and made him good.
Yeah, I mean, you could be right. We could see like a Thunder or a Rockets type of turnaround rebuild where all of a sudden a decade later they're the best teams in the West, but I just don't see that happening. Doesn't matter what I think though, you know.
Man, this top, whatever is gonna be tough. I mean, it's crazy. For a second, I thought the Sixers were getting the top pick because the Sixers just kept climbing up and up and up too, and they were talking about the Sixers a
Yeah,
lot.
they were talking about the Sixers heavy on that last four. It's like they
Yeah,
wanted them to get it. I
yeah,
think it's
it
because they had the
was.
highest odds at that point.
Yeah, So that was crazy. But yeah, I think the Mavs and the Spurs are going to look crazy coming out. I have no idea on the Sixers. The Sixers are like a toss up. Like, you want to say that they're going to look good next year coming out of this because they're going to have not only a top pick, but they still have Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid. They got Paul George. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, they look like they could be a great team with a good rookie, but they were terrible this last. I mean, there's a reason they just got a high pick. I mean,
Yeah.
sure they jumped, but they were still a really bad team and missed the playoffs entirely, not even made the play-in. So who knows? I
No, I
mean,
do.
that's kind of a weird toss-up. But those
I
top
am
two,
interested to see how that's going to go because it could just be a one-off. There was injuries.
yeah,
There
they could be
was Paul George's
amazing
first
this
season.
next
Like we
year.
really don't know, or it could kind of look like Damian Lillard going to the Bucks, where it's like we thought maybe it was just a bad first season, and the second season was far worse.
Because fully
Um,
healthy, the top two teams out of this whole entire draft lottery are the Mavs and the Sixers, actually. We're only saying the Spurs because we kind of think that the Sixers, let's be honest, we think that Embiid's still going to not play that much next year, and we think that Paul George isn't going to show up again next year. Is that true for both of us?
I don't think it's necessarily true for both of us, but um,
I mean, why else would we say that the Sixers are lesser than the Spurs? Because I don't think the Spurs, if we're talking
they're
fully
just so out
healthy,
of the conversation for me right now. It's like, yeah, I guess I am assuming that they're not going to be fully healthy
that's what I'm saying. Because
next
if they're
year.
fully healthy,
But
Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, that's a better team than Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox and all these young guys.
yeah, I really do. I don't know how that's going to go. I guess that's what I started saying was I don't know if the Spurs or sorry, if the 76ers are going to be fully healthy and really look good or if they're going to be not fully healthy, they're not playing games, you know, the 76 I'm embarrassed for the 76ers like secondhand after
Yeah,
this
this
season.
last year was terrible
Like
for them. But
that
I
was
mean, they have a
absolutely
chance to
brutal.
do
Like
some craziness. They could either make this top pick and actually take a young guy and maybe try and build a future off of him and Tyrese and maybe some other guys on their team like Jared McCain, because we got to remember that they got Jared McCain. He just fell to injury last year, but he was like the runaway rookie of the year for the start of the year in what was said to
yeah,
be a
that's their
weak
future for
draft
sure.
class. Yeah. Like that backcourt duo is going to be crazy if he comes back and he can play amazingly still, because he looked like he was going to take off into being like a star duo with Tyrese Maxey. So they could trade this pick and trade it with package it up with Paul George and try and get something else because Paul George wasn't working for them, or package it up with even like Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid hasn't been working out for them really, if we're going to be completely honest, for the past couple of years because of missing so much time and taking so much contract space from them. Who knows what they do? I have no idea what they do with this pick, but I think
Yeah,
the
I
top
really don't.
3 teams have so much intrigue. I mean, besides the Mavericks, we kind of for sure think the Mavericks are taking Cooper Flag. That would almost make the most sense.
Right.
I mean, if they traded this away, that would really make Nico Harrison look goofy. But I think it's pretty clear cut that they're trying to move on from the Luka era into the Cooper Flag era now that they've gotten their first pick. But still, the top 3 teams are going to be so interesting coming out next year, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see if the number 2 and number 3 teams at like the Spurs and the Sixers actually take their picks or if they trade them away, because both of those
Yeah,
teams have potential to do that. Like
I
we,
do see the Spurs trading him, not even if it's just for Giannis, like that's obviously
no, that's what I
he's
was
the
gonna
most
say. Yeah,
tradable piece right now. Him and KD are super tradable
I
pieces,
was gonna
so
say
like they're
KD
always
is
the
a
first
huge
in
option too, though.
conversations.
Yeah,
Um, but it really could be anybody. We have no idea who else is on the market. And I think the Spurs are definitely going to trade that pick because of what you said with the young core.
I mean the
They don't
Celtics.
need it.
There was the talk of the Celtics having to split it up after this year because of contracts, because of how big their team is, and how it would
Right.
have
And
to be
that
one of the big pieces. So, and we've talked about in the past about how we think that if they're keeping one of their top 2 guys, it's going to be JT they keep. They've kind of made Jason Tatum like the face of the franchise guy.
for
So
sure.
maybe the Spurs go after Jalen Brown.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that Jalen Brown moving is a real thing because not only is the the Celtics need to move somebody, but he would fit a lot of places.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's a perfect fit piece in so many spots. He
Right.
scores the ball well. He plays defense at a well enough. clip that he's not like a liability anywhere. Like he's a
And I would
perfect
love to see
wing big guard position. Like
I would love to see both him and Jason Tatum just play by themselves and not with each other because you know that there's more potential for both of them
it'd
because
be
they've always
interesting
been
for
sharing the
sure.
ball.
Yeah,
Who knows? Who knows what either of them could be by themselves,
for
you
real. Who
know?
knows? It'll be
Like what they
crazy,
would have to be. But yeah.
man. I don't even. Yeah, dude. I don't even know what to say about that. That was crazy. That draft lottery was exciting. That was some awesome stuff right there.
No, yeah. I definitely had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, that one was cool. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else that we got to talk about? Get out the way?
Nah. I mean, I'm just really like studying this draft lottery right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean,
And yeah,
the future of the NBA is going to be fun after this year. And the
it,
crazy
it
part
really is.
is the playoffs aren't even done. And we're talking about earlier about how we're in the season of parity where we have no idea who's even going to win this year and what the future will hold after that because there's so much that is at stake with certain playoff performances still throughout the year this year and this that and the other. Like if the Thunder start doing really terrible in this series and they get exposed, it's going to look like they need to actually make a big move and that this core that they have isn't good enough. They might need to trade away like a Jalen Williams and get like a second like superstar for real and
well,
not just like a
honestly,
bunch of Batmans next to him.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I think since um the like Curry era, wherever you think the Curry era ended, I think since the Curry era ended, a team has won the championship and it's been like, dang, every other team needs to step it up. And then they step it up, and all of a sudden, that team that just won is not even close to the best team anymore.
Yep.
And then it's like, I felt like that was true with the Raptors. And then you turn around and it's like, dang, the Lakers are super dominant. And then the next season, all of a sudden, nobody cares about the Lakers. And then the Bucks win the championship, and you're like, wow, the Bucks must be the best team in the world. But the next season, they're not the best team in the world. The league got a whole lot better. All of a sudden, the Warriors are back. They win the championship. Jason Tatum and the Celtics are running the East. Next year after that, all of a sudden the Nuggets come and we're like, dang, this Jokic guy is nothing we've ever seen before. This is
Yep.
crazy. And then just 1 year later, we're forgetting about that because Jason Tatum and the Celtics are the best built team since the Warriors dynasty. And now, like we said on this podcast, they're starting to fade out. And all of a sudden, there is a large handful of teams that are better than the Celtics. Um, and when you look at the Thunder, you wonder you wonder if that's going to happen to them, where like all of a sudden a bunch of teams are just going to be like, oh, that's the new norm. We need to match that and
Mm-hmm.
raise the bar. And yeah, I've enjoyed that.
Plus, I think it's going to show this year a lot more than most that the regular season really is so much different than the playoffs. Like, we need to remind
It really
ourselves
is.
of that, I think, before every playoffs a lot more going forward. And I don't think it's just us. I think everyone, every NBA fan, because every piece of content that I've watched, every single article that I have read going into the playoffs this year, I think everyone was expecting the Cavs and the Thunder to just dog walk their way at least to the conference finals. And now in the second round, both of those teams have shown their shakiness and have shown that they can get rocked pretty hard by a team that wasn't expected to rock them that hard. I mean, sure, we thought that the Nuggets might put up a little bit of a fight against them, especially you had said that you said that last week, but I mean, I didn't really think that so. I don't think many other really people thought so,
No,
and
I
I'm
didn't
pretty
think they
sure.
were gonna win. I didn't think they were gonna be 2-2 for
Right,
sure.
exactly,
Like that
right.
wasn't a realistic. And actually, the Nuggets are a team I think of when it's like they're kind of like you said earlier on the pod. They're kind of more experienced than the younger team. So it's kind of like you wonder during the regular season if those guys are like, yeah, we know the Thunder are the number one seed, but we're not concerned about being the number one seed.
Mm-hmm.
We're cool with just making the playoffs. And now they're proving that.
Yep. The playoffs are just a whole entire different type of basketball.
Hmm.
Whole entire different type of basketball. But man, I'm just I'm so excited for the future. The playoffs have been so good to us this year. The draft lottery was beautiful to us this year. We got some amazing prospects that are coming in for us next year. So many guys coming back from injury next year that are going to make certain teams way better and whatnot. So many trades to be made this year. Free
So
agency.
because of the draft lottery, we talked about a lot of teams. So just in case your team didn't get talked about, shout out to the Magic, shout out to the Pistons, shout out to the Rockets again, because we talked about how the Mavs and the Spurs and the 76ers were the best teams in the draft, even though the Rockets are there. But that's okay. I don't even know how they got there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Rockets have the potential to be maybe even the best looking team in the NBA going into next year because they're so hungry. Like I said, not only are they a top free agency destination because of being number 2 in the West this year, but they're super young and they clearly need something more. And who doesn't want to be the guy that goes to the Rockets and like is the guy that took them over that hump? You know what I mean? Like even if they get a Contavious Caldwell Pope type role player, and all of a sudden they're the number 1 team in the West next year and they win a championship, it's going to look like it was that guy that made that impact and that did that for them. So who doesn't want to be that guy? So like I feel like that's such a juicy free agency target destination, and not only that, they have this high up pick that they can trade, they have young guys that they can trade off. In my opinion, they should look into getting Jalen Green out of there as a high pick because that's a guy that they kind of rely on to be a higher scorer than what he is. I think, in my actual opinion, I think he is what I've referenced to in the last podcast is more of a role player these days. But I still don't think that that doesn't mean that he can't progress into being a superstar. I just think that right now, what his game is he's kind of more of a role player. But man, the Rockets are such an interesting destination too. I mean, like the NBA future is going to be so good. This next year is going to
Yeah.
be so good to us.
Honestly, every NBA team has potential to be good in the next 5 years.
Except for the Hornets. I think the Hornets still are going to suck. I'm not
Me
gonna lie.
too, but that's just an opinion.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not
Like
gonna lie. They just
they
don't know
could
how to
be
run a
good.
team, and they just got flopped down to what was it, the
Yeah.
4th pick? Yeah, tough for them. Same with the Jazz. The Jazz got flopped down to the 5th pick, and that sucks. And they said they're gonna do
Womp
everything.
womp.
They said they're gonna do everything they can to trade for the number 1 pick. Yeah, well, the one team that probably wants to trade the number 1 pick away the least just got it in the Dallas Mavericks. So, good luck getting that number 1 pick now. The best bet they're gonna get is trading up to maybe 3 with the Sixers because I don't even think they'll be able to get number 2 from the Spurs because of like what we said. The Spurs
No.
are trying to get Giannis, maybe even trying to get KD if Giannis doesn't work out, or just trying to pick somebody to keep building off of their young, amazing
They'd
core
take
that
Laurie
they have.
Markkinen. Worst case scenario,
Like
they'd
they're
take
gonna
him.
do something with that pick. They're not trading that pick away just to go down to 4
Yeah.
or 5 or whatever. So the best that the Jazz can do is getting up to 3, I would say, with the Sixers, because I could see the Sixers trading down to like 5 because, like I said, they're probably like the most built around team already down there. I mean, at the start of the season, we were saying the Sixers were going to be like a really good team,
Oh yeah.
like a
Yeah, I
really good
remember.
team.
Yeah, you had them in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, like start of the year pre-injuries and all that. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. And then
I was discrediting them, I remember, but I wasn't discrediting them this heavy. I was just saying they were going to still not make it past the second round. I still thought Embiid was going to go out there and be an MVP candidate. So like,
yeah,
but I was just discrediting them as a Bucks fan. I had no idea this was going to happen.
yeah. I don't think anybody thought this was going to happen.
Like I still thought for sure they were a contender. I was just
Mm-hmm.
hating at the time. But yeah,
Oh man.
pretty much sums up the pod. Wow, it's already happening. It's already it's already there.
Future of the NBA, guys.
That's so tough, man. I was really, I was really wanting somebody to get the pick and trade it to the Bucks, and now I know that's not going to
It
happen.
is not happening. Mavs
And
fans need that too much after losing Luka. They need Cooper, so they're not
oh
giving
yeah,
that away for shit.
Yeah, they're probably going nuts right now.
Oh yeah. I'm sure as soon as we get off this and we check Twitter, it's gonna be crazy.
But I think I mentioned all 30 teams. I mean, I only mentioned a couple, but we talked about the other ones.
I mean, if we didn't talk about your team, I'm sorry, but you're in that weird
Bro, we
middle
didn't talk
ground where you
about the
gotta get better.
Suns. Yeah, you do got to
We've
get
been
better.
talking about KD's gonna get traded
We've been
away.
talking about KD, but that's tough. That's a
That's
tough.
the Suns' drama right now. Is KD?
Yeah, I guess the
Would you want us to
Suns
talk about Bradley Beal?
really be. All
Bradley Beal.
right. Yeah, that's got to be all 30 teams. Sorry if I missed your team.
I'm not.
Peace, love, dove.
This is going to be episode whatever of the Ball Talk podcast. I can't exactly remember, and neither can he. We can't ever. But we love y'all so much. We appreciate the support so much. You guys have been absolutely killing it, crushing it so far. So keep doing that. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep doing all the fun stuff. Go share it with absolutely everybody you love, everybody you know, because we're just trying to keep it going and we're trying to keep leveling up each week, each day, each year. We're going to keep going. We love y'all so much, and we will see y'all next week. Peace.